Muy buenos días.
Morning, everybody.
Rectores,
Rectors,
alcaldes,
mayor,
vicerrectores,
vice
decanos,
rectors,
directores, miembros de la comunidad
deans, rectors, members
universitaria
of
de
the
Granada, representantes
University
de
of
la
Granada
embajada
community,
francesa,
representatives
señoras,
of the
señores,
French Embassy, ladies and
bienvenidos
gentlemen,
a esta
welcome to
presentación
this
de la
presentation of the
University.
ARQUS European
En primer lugar,
Universities
tiene la palabra
Alliance.
don
First of
Pablo
all, we
Martín
will give the
González,
floor
subsecretario del
to
Ministerio de
Mr.
Ciencia,
Pablo
Innovación y Universidades,
Martin
a quien
Gonzalez, who
quiero
is the
dar una muy
Undersecretary
calurosa bienvenida,
for the Ministry of
agradeciéndole todo
Science,
el
Innovation
esfuerzo
and
que lleva
Universities. I'd
realizando
like to
durante
warmly
muchos
welcome him
años
and
por la
thank him
internacionalización de
for
nuestras
all the
universidades.
work the Ministry has
Su
done over the
papel
years and
ha
he
sido
has done
muy
over years for
destacado en la apuesta firme que el
internationalization.
gobierno
He has had a
español
leading
ha
role
hecho
in the
por este
defense
proyecto de
that the
universidades europeas
Spanish
que, estoy
government
convencida,
has
va a
shown
tratar de
towards this
flexibilizar, regularizar y cambiar
initiative,
el
and they're going
sistema
to
universitario
change,
en nuestra
make this
Europa.
university
Cuando
system
quiera.
much more flexible here in Europe.
Bueno, pues muy buenos días a todos. En primer lugar, quiero
First of
empezar
all,
excusándome
I would like
porque
to start
justo en
by
cuanto termine
apologizing
mi
because as
intervención
soon as
me
I
tengo que ir
finish
corriendo, tengo que volver a
my
Madrid.
speech, I
Es
have
lo que
to
hay
rush back off
de
to
esta vida
Madrid.
tan divertida que
That's
llevamos.
what it's like, I'm
En primer
afraid.
lugar, querida
So
rectora,
I apologize.
rectores,
First of all,
representantes de
dear
las
Rector of the
distintas
University of Granada,
universidades
rectors from
participantes
the
hoy en
different
este acto,
universities who are
me
participating
gustaría
here,
empezar agradeciendo y
Mayor,
estando
I would like to start by thanking
¿Tengo
you.
un problema? No, seguimos. La traducción, sí.
We need headphones for translation.
Bueno, esperamos un minuto. Cosas del directo. Bueno, pues muy buenos días otra vez, querida rectora, rectores, señor alcalde, vicerrectores, representantes de la Universidad de Granada y
representatives of the University of
consorcio.
Granada and the other universities that participate in this consortium. I would like to start by apologizing because as soon as I finish, I have to rush back off to Madrid. But from the Spanish government, we take on board what the rector said. It's very, very important for us to be here. The Spanish government totally supports this European initiative. The fact that 11 out of the 17 consortia that were passed have a Spanish university in it is very important. For me, it's very important to be here, not only because I'm a representative of the government, because I studied here at the University of Granada. And I was involved in this 3 years ago because I'm responsible for internationalization. And we thought then that it was a wonderful idea. This initiative, ARQUS, is very important. I was at the presentation in Brussels last year, and I coincided with some of those of you who are here today. So for the Spanish government, it's a wonderful initiative which has highlighted the quality of our universities and their high level of internationalization. 11 out of 17 of the ones that have been passed have Spanish representation, and 3, including the University of Granada, are coordinating the initiatives. That makes us very proud. I think that this initiative will be a turning point in European higher education, and this will require structural transformation which is systemic and sustainable. We think this is the first step for the future of higher education. It's ambitious. It's no longer just a dream. Now there are 17 wonderful projects, and we expect more to join this year, and they're going to bring about substantial changes in the way we understand higher education in Europe. And from the Spanish government, we would like to express our firm support for this initiative. The Minister of Science and Innovation and Education had the chance to say this last July, where the participants in this initiative were in Madrid, and I corroborate the effort that our government has made and will make to do all that is possible to remove any kind of barrier that can impede the development of this initiative. We are working administratively, we're working on legislation and economically to support this initiative, and we hope we will soon see the fruits of this firm commitment that the Spanish government has. So I believe that it was extremely important for us to be represented here today. This initiative was born in 2017. It was launched by President Macron of France. It was debated in the European Council, and it had been a long time since a European Council debated higher education, and they put on the table the idea that has led to the creation of this initiative. 30 years have gone by since Erasmus was started in '87, and there's no better place to say it than here in Granada. 1987, this substantially transformed higher education, led to the Bologna process in 1990, but now we're in the 21st century. We have to go much further. This is not just a mobility program. This is a program or an initiative that will go way beyond that. Higher education in Europe will become a beacon in Europe, showing how we can work together and construct European citizens that feel proud of the European institutions we share. So taking advantage of this opportunity in this world that we're in at the moment with a lot of uncertainty and discord, I think that the name ARQUS is very apt, and this is being implemented with age-old universities who are aiming to create new citizens. The concept of Europe came from the universities in the first place. So I think it's extremely important for Europe to support their universities. We want universities and Europe to be associated with modernization, with tolerance, with openness, and I think that the University of Granada portrays this image to perfection, and we're very proud of the University of Granada. So I would just like to end by saying that we feel extremely proud of this initiative that's taking its first steps today. I would like to congratulate and thank all those of you who have signed the document today. We will accompany you, we will support you, and we are sure that this will contribute to a change in European higher education. Good luck, and thank you very much. Congratulations once again. Thank you very much, Under-Secretary, for your words and for the great effort you've made to be here with us today. Such an important day for our university. We'll now give the floor to Professor Dorothy Kelly, who's Vice Rector of Internationalization and Coordinator of ARQUS. Thank you very much. Rector, Mayor, Under-Secretary, Rectors, Presidents, Vice-Rectors, colleagues. First of all, as the Rector has, I would like to thank the Ministry of Science, Innovation and Education for their support, particularly the Under-Secretary, who has had to leave because from the onset, from the first moment, they have understood the importance of this European University Alliance. Here, on the screen, you can see a bridge in the city of Lyon in France. It's Le Pont de l'Université, the bridge of the university, which I believe symbolizes what we aim to do with this alliance, which is to build bridges and to lay the foundations to work towards a shared future that we want to build together, the 7 universities that are involved here in this alliance. The ARQUS Alliance was born as a response to a call for proposals by the European Commission. They asked us to work together to attain a structural change, a systemic change, and a sustainable change in our universities and beyond the universities of the consortium, this kind of change in the European university system. Now, we believe that this initiative, which once again places universities at the center of European Union policy, is a wonderful opportunity to participate as 7 universities at the forefront of the modernization of both our national and European university systems. But it's not only a case of greater integration as an end in itself, but rather as a means to improve education for our students who need to be prepared for a globalized, cross-cultural, increasingly complex world. It must serve to improve the research capacity of our 7 universities and the systems that they operate in, and to help to face the great societal challenges of the 21st century, a century in which there are increasingly rapid changes, and it's very difficult to be up to date with everything. Together, we're sure that we will be able to face those challenges better than if we tried to do it alone. The alliance, the ARQUS Alliance, is based on these 6 basic concepts that you can see here that will affect the numerous activities we're going to carry out over the next 3 years in a cross-cutting way. You will see that we want everything we do to be focused on people. Universities make no sense if they are not focused on people. Students, teachers, researchers. and for the society in which they operate. We want this to be a laboratory where we can try out new forms of cooperation to move towards an innovative future, a future that will allow us to work better for society, the society that supports us. And in this sense, we believe that mobility is going to be essential. Mobility for the whole of the university community, students, staff, administrative staff, but not only physical mobility, but online or virtual mobility. That is the creation of online international communities. And we are going to use that tool considerably. And everything will be based on, of course, on recognition, the recognition of credits, of diplomas and qualifications, and of the training that is given in any of the 7 universities. The mission of the Alliance is to progress and advance in integration, but we don't only want that to happen at a level of the management of our institutions. We want it to be bottom-up. We want it to be participative. We want the university community in each of the 7 universities to play a role and to participate, to become involved. The Alliance seeks to be open in all senses, open to innovation, to creativity, to flexibility of the systems that we work in, but also promoting open science, open data. And finally, everything that we do must be sustainable. Sustainable not only in the sense that what we do over the next 3 years should continue. Obviously, we want to work in the long term, but sustainable for the planet, thinking of the sustainable development goals that affect us all and that ask us all, that challenge us all to protect the planet we live in. Based on those principles, we are going to work on the design of structures, policies, training, and programs that are common and that give us opportunities for cross-cutting cooperation with joint degrees, with totally open mobility, with an open academic offer, shared research infrastructure, etc., etc. The ARQUS consortium is represented by the different universities that you can see on the screen, and there's a wide representation of the different regions, north, south, east, and west. As I said, there are 7 universities with a very similar profile. They are multidisciplinary universities with a long historic experience in different contexts, of course. They are universities that are highly prestigious in research and are situated in middle-sized cities with a significant socio-economic impact in their surrounding area. Only one of them is in a capital city, and that is Vilnius, but it is a medium-sized capital in a small country, as they themselves say. So we want to underline here the importance of universities in the socio-economic fabric of the region where they're situated. And finally, internationalization. All these universities have stood out in internationalization, both in research and mobility, and they have a long tradition in multilateral cooperation, which is much richer than bilateral cooperation. If we look at the basic figures, we can see that together we have more than 300,000 students, more than 24,000 teaching and research staff, and more than 17,000 administrative and support staff. That is to say, a critical mass here, which is quite substantial. To advance in the working plan, we have established a series of theme-based areas, and each university will be in charge of each line of action depending on their strengths and experience. The order is not the order that you will see in the documentation you have, but we have to go here from the north to the south. First of all, Bergen, then it's a line which focuses on citizens who are engaged and prepared for this new world in which they have to assume leadership. The line coordinated by Vilnius University is one which seeks quality in learning through different instruments such as mobility, joint degrees, and pedagogical innovation. The line coordinated by the University of Leipzig in Germany aims at promoting the multicultural nature and multilingualism of our universities. The 7 universities use 7 the 7 universities use 6 native languages, and we also have English, which is the joint international language of the day. We want to promote all those languages in each of the other universities. The University of Padua will lead the line of inclusiveness. We aim to open the doors of the university to all society. The University of Lyon in France will lead the action line in entrepreneurial affairs. Obviously, all the universities have an impact in the region, and so this is absolutely central for the profile of the Alliance. Graz in Austria will coordinate the line of research and promotion of cooperation between our researchers, particularly focusing on early career researchers. And finally, Granada will not be in charge of any particular line of action, but rather the coordination of the consortium of communication and dissemination of information about everything that we do. Finally, we've equipped ourselves with a series of structures that are necessary to coordinate the complex working plan that we have. Today, as you know, the Council of Rectors of the Alliance has been set up. Here we have the representatives, the rectors here at the table, and over the coming month, the rest of the bodies will be set up. Bodies that will allow us to move forward with our working plan to create a single community in which we will all participate. I'd like to end by thanking the rectors, thanking their teams. Many of the members of those teams are here with us today, obviously from the University of Granada, but we also have a significant number of people from the other universities who've been working yesterday and today, and they've made a tremendous effort to prepare the application. When we started, we didn't know whether we were going to be able to have it ready for this first pilot round of the call for proposals. There was a lot of competition. And yet, in July, we received this extremely pleasant surprise and wonderful news that we were one of the 17 alliances that had been successful in their application. And I think this is wonderful. It was a reward for all our work, all the hours of work we had put in. And I'd like to thank all those present and those not present, those who are in the other universities. And I think this should encourage us to continue, because we see the fruit of our work. And I hope that it encourages us to continue so that we will see further fruits. I think this is an inspiring, creative initiative. And I truly hope that we can continue to work successfully together throughout Europe, throughout the 7 universities. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias, profesora Kelly, vicerrectora de Internacionalización y extraordinaria coordinadora de ARQUS. A continuación, tiene la palabra don Caleb Boudala, presidente de la Universidad de Lyon.
Who is the president of the University of Lyon.
It's a great pleasure for an honor to be here today for this first meeting of the rectors. ARQUS fits in perfectly with the IDEX Lyon, which is the excellence program of the French government to set up world-class university. The Université de Lyon supports a large number of scientific, H2020 and academic Erasmus Plus collaborative projects. It is taking a further step in this direction by joining this alliance, which reinforces its policies and European ambition. Our ultimate goal is to build a European network which is powerful and integrated enough to consider developing European diplomas for our students. We aim to involve all university members in this project, including our 90,000 students and 40,000 research professors and 7,000 staff members. ARQUS will strongly encourage the development of the diploma curriculum, which is ultimately destined to provide European diplomas, and the building of research networks amongst the partners. The aim is to encourage the inclusion of our students, which means opening up our existing programs to students from all of our institutions. It is also to develop interdisciplinary work, enabling our students to play a role in transforming society. Due to our strong recognition in France, our contribution will mainly focus on students' entrepreneurship. As a result, the Université de Lyon is the working groups coordinating university for the work package 5. One of our major goals is to promote an entrepreneurial university which is engaged for regional development. We aim to stimulate entrepreneurship and creativity amongst the entire university community. ARQUS will be a tremendous transformation and evolution driving force for us through encounters with other partners models. Thank you.
Thank you, presidente de la Université de Lyon. Tiene la palabra Darrune Olsen.
Thank you very much. We'll now give the floor to Dagrun Olsen, the rector of the University of Bergen.
Rectora magnífica, Fellow rectors, vice-rectors, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. It is a true privilege for me to be here representing my own university, well, sort of in the outskirts of European civilization, some would say, that is Bergen in Norway. It is important for a tiny country to take part in international collaborative efforts. In a tiny country, we cannot develop or foster research and education to the level we would like to without close collaboration, and we're a part of Europe. ARQUS, the alliance, is very helpful in that way. It is of vital interest for us to utilize this network in our strive for our endeavors, realizing that knowledge, that is actually what will shape societies in the years to come. I'm very happy that a part of our vision is to be better at responding to grand societal challenges of the 21st century. I firmly believe that knowledge has a big role, perhaps the biggest role to play when we are going to face and tackle and understanding the grand societal challenges. And never ever has knowledge been sought after. Never ever has knowledge been more imperative. Never ever has knowledge been so important for exactly addressing these kind of challenges. All kinds of challenges, societal challenges of the 21st century. Of course, we do research, and that is important, to come up with new ideas, new insight, new knowledge that can shape our societies, and also see to it that we are better off in responding to these grand societal challenges. But it is the students that are the most important people in addressing the grand societal challenges. They are going to be the leaders of the next generation. So that is also why it's so important that we, as a part of our mission, is going to educate engaged, critical European citizens, because they're going to be the competent decision makers in the years to come. At our university in Bergen, we have taken on the responsibility of the Sustainable Development Goals of UN, the grand societal challenges. But we need to see to it that we also structure our education in a way that make our students suitable for addressing these challenges or dealing with it. So we are really proud that what we are going to do within this network, together with all our partners, and that is to develop challenge-based learning. That is grasping, understanding, addressing complex issues in a slightly more holistic way than we do traditionally within disciplines. Strong academic disciplines is still extremely important. It is vital. But what the university is all about is to try to work and think laterally. So all the strengths, all the knowledge, all the disciplines, all the grand ideas that we have in the university can play together for us to understand the world in a better way. And perhaps then also we will be better off, better suited in addressing the grand societal challenges. Because this is what Europe needs to do. There are global challenges, of course, that cannot be addressed within a region on this planet alone. But if Europe cannot, well, the globe will not be able as well. So I'd like to express my gratitude for our university to be a part of this network. And also I'd like to say that under the leadership of the University of Granada, we will be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Rector Bergen. Tiene la palabra don Martín Polasek, rector de la
Give the
Universidad de
floor
Graz.
to Professor Martin Polasek, who is rector of the University of Graz.
Rector Magnifica, dear guests, buenos dias. I'm very proud that the University of Graz is part of this great network. Only 2 Austrian universities have the honor and the privilege to be part of such a European University Alliance. And when we joined the project, it was clear for us that we would work very actively in this cooperation because all the aims and all the goals that were formulated are part of the strategy of the University of Graz. And it's not only part of the strategy, it's part of the great vision of not only our university, because of course we all stand for research, we stand for the preservation of research and gaining new knowledge, but we also stand for the quality of knowledge and for bringing it to the society. Universities had always, in the last centuries, this task. But we live in times of fake news. We live in times where it's harder for people to say what they think and to come into discussions, because some people don't like to come into discussions because they think they have the only truth. But we as universities know that there's never one truth. There's the gaining of knowledge by sharing knowledge and creating new knowledge. And so this is a very, very important sign for us that universities work together, because we have the responsibility as institution of knowledge and research and education to give our knowledge to the students and to the society. And by working together, we will increase our base of knowledge. We will increase the quality of our work, and we will offer new possibilities for our students and also for the people working at our universities. And this will be a really new dimension of the worth of universities throughout Europe, and I think it will be seen throughout the world. Because by showing that universities from different parts of Europe work together in a very creative and fruitful way, I think this also will be a very good sign for democracy in Europe. So thank you to all of the universities for working together.
Thank you, Rector of the Universitat de Graz. Tiene la palabra don Thomas Hofses, Vicerrector de la Universidad de Leipzig.
Rectora Magnifica, scientific community, dear interested people of ARQUS. Granada brought the breeze of diversity, of respect for diversity into this project. And this I will honor with my brief speech here. It is important because, therefore, we call us ARQUS. It's a bridge between students and teachers. It's a bridge between science and teaching. It's a bridge between university and the people, and it is something like, I would say, a democratic lab, what we want to show to the European community. A democratic lab is really important. Why? We have a lot of powerful ideas which are struggling against democracy. We have a lot of confusions in young people who don't know, is democracy our future or is it already the past? And this is a very important message here from this project, that through the action lines you heard here, we also try to give a new spirit for the necessity of democracy, for a European way of democracy. And let me close. Granada is a good example what other regions could learn. Granada prevents the heritage, for example, of Garcia Lorca, and this is only one symbol. Also, this university preserves the heritage of science in the community, another good example. And this is, for me, very important to work with in this project. It's very important for Leipzig University to work in this project. Thanks that the spirit of Granada is the architecture of the bridge of ARQUS.
Thank you, Vice Rector of the Universitat of Leipzig. Tiene la palabra Rimantas Jankauskas, Vicerrector Vilnius Universitat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am representing the community of the easternmost university of this alliance. Our university, established 440 years ago, for centuries served like a forepost of European academic values, of European culture and ideas in this vast area of Europe. And we do see the possibilities that ARQUS Alliance provides for us, at least in threefold. So this is internationalization. This is also continuation of tradition of universities. So, and enhancement of internationalization, free movement of academics, free movement of students, and could enrich all of us, and it will be, how to say, sharing of strengths of our communities will make us stronger. The Alliance unites old, traditional, comprehensive universities. This is also the great strength by itself. We do complement each other very well, and this partnership would increase general competitiveness of our universities, and I would say competitiveness of all Europe, if Europe doesn't want to become just thematic park for tourists. And finally, we do expect that we are very thankful for European Commission for the support and for this initiative, and we do expect similar support and encouragement also for our national governments, and because they do see already the potential of such alliances, of such a high-quality combination of high-quality education and high-quality research. All universities have big national and regional impact, and they will continue that. And I think, indeed, spirit of Granada will be spread all over this alliance and all our countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice-Rector Vilnius Universitatis. Tiene la palabra don Alessandro Pacagnella, Vicerrector Università degli Studi di Padova.
Muchas gracias. Magnifica Rectora, authorities, ladies, gentlemen, friends of ARQUS. It's my privilege to be here to bring the greetings also on behalf of the Rector of the University of Padova. And I'm the last one on the list, so I have also the privilege to thank all the people of our universities who worked together to prepare our joint proposal. Tens of persons who didn't work together before starting this endeavor, which was very challenging, very vast. We worked on different subject themes, fields, and with different languages, starting from different cultures. And we were able to prepare a very successful project for the future. And why? I was asking myself. Probably because all of us share a common vision for the future, which is good, but also a long tradition. Our universities share a history of culture, of teaching, of learning, of making research in Europe over the centuries. And this tradition is something very peculiar of our universities, of our country, of our continent. And we should be proud of it, because based on knowledge of our tradition, of our history, we may be able to build bridges, projecting into the future, and solid bridges. In Roman times, the builder of a bridge was an important figure in the Republic, in the Empire. And his name was Pontifex. And Pontifex Maximus was the head of a people who had to take care of bridges. And now we know that Pontifex is the title of a pope. So something that is really lasting all over centuries. Well, I hope that will be good pontifex for the future, for our universities, for our students, professors, for our communities. I'm confident that will be successful. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Vice Rector of the Université de Studi of Padova. Rectores, vicerrectores, comunidad
Rectors,
universitaria.
university community, I would like to start by what I believe is the most important aspect, by thanking everybody who's been involved in this project, wherever they may be now. It's an exciting project, an inspiring project that teams from the 7 universities represented here have devoted a lot of time and hard work to. Very varied teams in different areas, and allow me to underline particularly people who from the University of Granada and the other universities who are here with us now. So obviously, I'd like to thank them particularly. And I would especially like to thank the coordinator of the project, Dorothy Kelly, who has worked exceptionally. Her work has been excellent. She has made sure that our project was good enough to be chosen. And amongst the 11 projects in Spain that were chosen, Granada has been one of the 3 that were chosen to coordinate. This is an initiative that helps us to dream and to believe that another kind of Europe is possible, another kind of university is possible. Those of us who have been working in universities for years, trying to contribute values, could see that the European Union was started with the idea of being exclusively based on trade and of building infrastructure, etc., to be able to compete with the US as it had grown since the end of the Second World War. And that was how the EEC, as it was then, started, the common market. But as the years went on, obviously trade is important, but the idea arose to constitute citizens, to establish European identity, people who defended the values that have always represented Europe, people who understood that there should not be borders, certainly not for knowledge, people who understood that multilingualism, multicultural mentalities were vital for our societies to advance. And based on this concept, we saw the appearance of programs that aimed at representing European values in universities. 30 years ago, the Erasmus project in this context appeared, and we celebrated its birthday a couple of years ago. And I think this is the program that contributed to creating European identities. This old continent that is perhaps not in a very good state today, but I'd like to be optimistic. It is true that Brexit, well, we've had a piece of good news recently. It seems that there is going to be an agreement. Populisms that are arising in member states are leading the democratic values that you have all mentioned here to be questioned in some parts of Europe. And issues such as immigration have divided us and have led us to move away from seeking a common solution, because multilingualism, multiculturalism make much more integrated, open societies that allow all society to participate. I think with the European Universities Initiative, which came from a speech given by President Macron in the Sorbonne, which is an iconic university in Europe, will allow us to create European citizens, people who operate in a global world, offering solutions. And for this to happen, we require thought to be enriched, and we need openness. But it's also going to enrich our own universities, because we're going to reflect on how we deal with our academic affairs and how we contribute to create responsible, critical students who in the future will be able to respond to the great societal challenges in a sustainable way. So allow me from Granada to say that for Spanish universities, this is a highly significant opportunity for change. The Spanish rectors are demanding legislative change that will allow our universities to be more flexible, more transparent, with less bureaucracy. And we believe that this is an extremely important opportunity for Spanish universities. Together, we will be stronger. We will understand how other universities have solved problems that we have, structural problems, not temporary problems. Together, we will be able to grow, and we are going to make this ARQUS a real bridge that will widen the European knowledge area. And because of our commitment in Latin America, it will allow us to move towards the Latin American knowledge area. And this is proving to be very difficult because there's no political structure behind, but we think we're obliged to work with Latin America. For us, it's basic, and I'm sure that for all those of you here, the Mediterranean is also very important, especially North Africa. And in that sense, the University of Granada has values to contribute, together with others who also work in Africa. Africa also needs positive intervention from Europe, and I think we could transmit values and the wealth that we're contributing. Today, we have signed an agreement. We have equipped ourselves with regulations, and with the Rectors' Council will allow us to progress. And I would like to thank all the people whose work has led us to be able to do this. This allows us to dream that a new university, a different university, will be possible. Thank you very, very much for being here, and we have now reached the end of this event.
Bien, a continuación creo que hay una...
There will now be questions from the press. No, okay, we have reached the end. Thank you very much.